What beats world-class pros? Pattern recognition, patience, press resistance. The toolkit of a defensive midfielder. Joshua Gebissa carried it from Hansa Rostock's system to the felt. On September 9, 2025, the Vienna-based ex-footballer became the first Triton ONE Main Event champion in Jeju, qualifying through a satellite and banking $975,225. This isn't a pivot, it's an arrival. He grew up in Rostock, Germany, in the youth corridors of Hansa Rostock, learning a game that rewards shape, timing, and resilience. Born January 21, 1995, he climbed through Rostock's academy from 2001 to 2014 and settled into the role of defensive midfielder, a position built on anticipation and small, correct decisions. From there, it was a journeyman's path across Germany's regional leagues. He logged minutes with Hansa Rostock 2, moved to FC Schönberg 95 in 2015 to 2016, signed with VfB Lübeck in 2016, and joined Altona 93 for the 2018 to 2019 season. These were not stadiums of global fame, but they were classrooms for pressure management, communication, and reading patterns at full speed. On July 1, 2019, at just 24, Gebissa's football chapter formally closed as retired on the transaction sheets. Poker had already entered the frame. While still active in football, he picked off a local headline. On July 8 to 9, 2018, he won the Monster Poker Tour main event at Casino Schönefeld for €18,420. A modest buy-in, a meaningful win, and an early signal that his competitive instincts translated cleanly to the felt. 2 years later, he turned more seriously toward poker. Under the online handle Iasusake, Gebissa reached the GG Poker Spring Festival headliner final table on April 19, 2021, finishing 8th for $50,895, a result that validated his move beyond local events. By 2024, he was taking shots on the European circuit, including EPT Prague. In the €3,000 mystery bounty on December 13, 2024, he pulled a €25,000 bounty, evidence that variance could finally cut his way. Even then, his recorded ledger showed a best live cash of roughly $40,000 heading into 2025. A solid resume, not a star maker. And then came Jeju, and with it, a new on-ramp to the elite. Triton launched Triton ONE, a mid-stakes cousin to its super high roller brand, with QQPK as title sponsor and a satellite pathway that literally paid champions extra. Gebissa would walk that path from start to finish. Triton didn't just add another stop, it built an on-ramp. Triton ONE launched in Jeju with an $8,000 main event designed to bridge aspirants to elites. Across 2 opening flights, 520 entries on Day 1A and 526 on Day 1B. The field swelled to 1,046 players and a $7,607,558 prize pool, a thunderclap for a debut series. For Joshua Gebissa, this wasn't a buy-in pulled from a deep bankroll. He qualified through the QQPK satellite program, the title sponsor's pathway that also rewards the champion with an extra $100,000 in tournament credit, an incentive wired directly into the series' DNA. Day 2 in Jeju ended with 16 players left and a leaderboard packed with familiar killers. Gebissa hovered near the front, not dominating, just present. Final table: 9 chairs, deep stacks, and a tie star in form. The very first hand set the tone. Punnat Punsri picked up pocket aces and coolered Sergei Petrushevsky's ace-king for the opening knockout. Minutes later, Igor Yaroshevsky's trips were undone by a runner-runner full house. The oxygen dipped. Punsri kept pressing, knocking out names and building the kind of lead that usually crushes comebacks. Then poker did what poker does. It turned. Japan's Daiki Shinge surged and briefly overtook Punsri. Gebissa, still composed, still picking his spots, found life with a double through Shinge. Moments later, another pivot. Shinge's pocket kings against Gebissa's ace-queen. The river completed Broadway for Joshua, and the final became a two-man duel that felt like a clash of philosophies, accumulation versus endurance. Heads Up began with reality stacked against him. Punsri, already a four-time Triton champion and Thailand's all-time money leader, had the kind of cushion that ends most stories. They paused to make a deal. Punsri locked $1,205,775. Gebissa would play for the title with $55,000 left on the table, bringing his eventual total to $975,225, the trophy and the first engraving in a brand new ledger. What happened next looked a lot like a defensive midfielder closing space. Gebissa didn't force it. He absorbed pressure, picked off spots, and let the structure work for him. A double with pocket tens stabilized the match. A few pots later, top two with king and queen nudged him into the lead. And the hand that effectively won the title came on a board that paired the seven, Gebissa holding ace and seven, Punsri with queen and seven, where composure and stack counting mattered as much as the pips. When the last river landed, a queen that bricked Punsri's hope, Gebissa's route was complete. Satellite to champion in one festival with a six-figure kicker in QQPK credits and a new kind of legitimacy. The official line is simple but sticky. He won less money than the runner-up because of the deal, but he won the tournament. Both can be true. Zoom out and you see why this resonates beyond a single payday. Triton ONE isn't just a smaller sibling to the Super High Roller series, it's a system, satellites, branding, and incentives engineered to discover new names who can handle the lights. In that sense, Gebissa is not an outlier. He's a prototype. Vienna sends him back with a bankroll bump, a champion's aura, and a sponsor-boosted war chest that makes the next tier feel touchable instead of theoretical. And through it all, the skill set looks familiar. Studying shapes, managing tempo, trusting timing, just not on grass. The habits learned in the academy at Hansa Rostock, nurtured across Germany's regional leagues, reappear at the felt as counting stacks, controlling pots, and reading pressure. The jersey changed. The job didn't. The promise from our opening line lands clean. The toolkit of a defensive midfielder holds up under Triton lights. In Jeju, Joshua Gebissa didn't just win a big tournament. He became the first name etched on a brand new trophy, the anchor story for a mid-stakes experiment that worked. From a field of 1,046 entries and a $7,607,558 prize pool, he claimed the title and $975,225 in a final shaped by a deal that left runner-up Punnat Punsri with the bigger payday. It's the poker nuance that casual viewers miss. The champion's headline is unmistakable. There's more baked into the confetti. Because he qualified through the QQPK pathway, Gebissa's victory included a $100,000 tournament credit bonus, added value designed to pull new faces into bigger rooms. With that extra fuel, the Super High Roller Series suddenly looks clearly in reach. For a player who came from Germany's regional pitches and built a poker life in Vienna, that's not a fantasy, it's a financing plan. Zoom out, and the series itself is the co-star. Triton ONE was pitched as a bridge to new champions, and its debut delivered four-figure fields, broadcast polish, and a headline winner whose path makes sense to anyone who's ever changed careers. The structure did what it promised: discover a story worth following, and in doing so validated the brand's premise. Triton's message is that aspirants can earn their way onto bigger stages without losing the luxury sheen that makes Triton feel different. So what lingers? Not a hand history, but a frame. Composure as a skill set that travels. From reading pressure in a crowded midfield to reading pressure across a felt, Gebissa's win suggests that disciplined decision-making is its own kind of athleticism, one that ages well. Titles can be defended or forgotten. Firsts are forever. Some trophies measure skill. First engravings measure time. The inaugural Triton ONE champion will always be the ex-midfielder who qualified, adjusted, and refused to flinch. Joshua Gebissa.
He's also close. One more card to go.
The river is the queen of clubs, and that's no good for Punnat. And that means we have found our first.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more engaging poker stories.